Hello there. I hope you're well. I am Hiramani and welcome to Get Set Global. About today's guest, he is 12 times national award winning filmmaker, awarded the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan, and known as a practitioner of alternative cinema. Um, he is the first Assamese to have received an international award for his film Halodia Sorai Bauthankai. His stories are the perfect blend of the ethical and the metaphorical. In the last 40 years, he has made 14 thought provoking films which have transcended the linguistic, cultural, and geographic barriers. One of his films is a Hindi film too called Maine Gandhi Ko Nahi Mara. And the lead actor, Anupam Kher, received a national award for it too. He is a humanist, a social and a cultural activist, and loves Assam dearly. Some people have asked whether activism and politics have taken front seat for this preeminent filmmaker. I look forward to an honest conversation. Soft spoken with a crinkly smile, gentle and full of humility. It is my absolute pleasure to invite and welcome one of the most celebrated filmmakers, Jahnu Barua. Hello, Dada. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for thank you so much for being here. And it is such an
My
honor to
pleasure.
have you here. And yeah, I'm really excited for today's rendezvous. So looking forward to it. Um, so let's start by asking you your journey of filmmaking. So
Yeah.
you said that you wanted to be an architect, and filmmaking was never in your plan. But then you watched films of great filmmakers like Satyajit Ray and Federico Fellini, and those films transported you to some other place. Um, and you have also said that you were mesmerized by the power of cinema. So, what did you go through internally to, that made your plan changed and learned about filmmaking, which I'm hoping is probably quite a riskier choice at the time?
Yeah, initially, actually, when I started seeing films, because I come from a very rural background, my father used to work in a tea estate, and all we get to see films under the open sky. And in in the open, and that's it. That is the kind of experience I had in the with cinema during my childhood. But I was quite inquisitive about one thing, that what is this absolutely? What is this kind of technology? And then, so I was little inquisitive, but not that I would be interested to know about it more and more, and then I would find myself one day professionally in it. So it was not that much. So I started seeing films, and I used to enjoy films. But it is just like any other, cinegoer. Things started happening when I was doing my graduation in Guwahati, and that time actually that I was studying in Barua College, and there was a cine club, Guwahati Cine Club.
Yes.
They used to have some kind of shows of international classics. They kept calling international classics, but I didn't understand that. That time, those shows were only for their members, and I wanted to see them, but I was not allowed. The students were not allowed.
Okay. So you had to be a member.
But somehow I managed. And I got to see 7 films they had shown that time. And that was including Bicycle Thieves and the one called Romanian film, A Bomb Was Stolen. And then for the first time, I came to realize that cinema is something else. It is not just entertainment. It is much, much beyond entertainment. What is it? Then I started relating to the kind of, storytelling experiences I had. I had been listening to stories. For example, say one story, when it is told by my grandma, and I used to get mesmerized. But at the same time, the same story, if it is told by another grandma, I don't get interested at all. So I started feeling that there is something, in storytelling. There is an art involved. How you tell the story, it is very, very interesting. It could be. So that is how I started taking interest, because I came to know whatever little study I did in the beginning, that cinema is an art of storytelling. It's an art form. So I got immediately hooked to know more about it. So that's how I got into it. And then I started looking for institutes. That time, during those days, there was no internet, no nothing. Only we used to have some GK book. It's called Hindustani book. And through that, I got some addresses. And I applied to the Film Institute in Pune. And I also had applied to the Polish Film Institute that was in a city called Lodz.
In Poland.
From where the Roman Polanski had graduated.
Right.
So, but I got selected there also. But problem was that, there it was 6 years course. In FTI, it was 3 years course in film direction. So that's how I opted for. That's how my journey started.
Wow, beautiful. So you were so keen to start, so you wanted to go for a course that is shorter. But I also know what you are saying. It's this whole combined power of, I think, image, sound, extra effect that can elicit the deep feelings we did. And I think that's the mesmerizing power of cinema. I would talk more about your filmmaking journey, but before that, I wanted to ask you, you have traveled the world, you have worked with international filmmakers in projects. When you see their films, international films, and see their attitude, how they behave, or their process of filmmaking, do you see anything that you'd like to see in India or in Assam? Is there anything that you see?
There is a very big difference because Assam that way is not exposed to the international scene. So what I mean, it could be cinema, any other media, but that way there is a difference. When I got to meet filmmakers around, so mainly it is that difference in attitude, in approach. That's a vast difference actually. And what I felt, because being from northeast Assam, I felt that that there are so many stories from my land that still to be told.
True.
And that kind of feeling, those filmmakers never have, because they are already in films and
True.
they look for subjects. But I'm from a land that is a reservoir of subjects. So that's how I felt, there is a difference in their approach. And that is what I wanted to propagate in Assam also, that I keep telling the young talents that there are so many stories to be told from our land. So get into it. And that is how actually the whole internationally also, they look for it, such talent. That
Yeah.
is how you become global.
That's how you become global. Yeah. And I think I didn't think that way, what you said, because it's so true. Globally, they are creating stories, but I think in Northeast, we have stories there. We just have to bring out to the world. There's
Yeah.
such a huge difference. I actually asked this to other guests as well who are from film industry. And I think it's the process probably than the attitude. One thing that I'm told is that everybody in the unit, if it's an international unit, they come prepared on the set, including the actors. They don't wait for the director to direct on the set because they have asked all the questions in advance. They are well prepared. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the job. So that's one thing that others have said in terms of process. Now, are you happy the way Assam film industry is going forward from the time you started out? Are you happy how it's going?
I'm quite happy because the Assam, we need to realize that we must not be able to adopt same kind of processes that is internationally known, internationally popular, because a lot of things actually Assam, you end up taking initiatives in all the, the details of the processes. That way, actually, I would say that Assamese film industry is more of very informal, uh, say, character and character. So that we do a lot of things absolutely informally, and we don't follow a proper process. That is also one kind of process. And that is how actually sometimes it so happens you can achieve something which if you are very organized you cannot achieve. So that is how actually we need to realize that somewhere you need to acclimatize yourself into the kind of situation we have. So in our handling of actors and picking up a story, in going through the whole process of filmmaking, and everything is different that way. But a filmmaker always needs to adapt to that. From film to film, it differs. But whereas in the West, globally, you see that there is a process they follow, very strict strict process, which if we try to do that now, in Assam, many ways actually we will end up being failure.
Do you know what? When we are talking about these things, I'm seeing things from a different perspective here because when you are saying that process is a good thing, but it may not always work because
Yeah.
also there has to have room for organic growth when there is artistic elements, I think, involved, which is cinema. But Adil Hussain, who was here a couple of weeks back, he said that we are so fantastic with stories and talents in abundance. I think weaker link probably would be script writing. We can do better with script writing. Would you also say that? Or
Yes, very much actually.
you
After all,
said
it's a creative process, no? And I must say that our land, Assam and the entire Northeast, it's as I said, is a reservoir of creative talents. It is only that the infrastructure wise, it is very much in the background. So that's how that the talents they have been suffering. But in recent, since recent years, actually a lot of young talents they are coming up with very good processes. They themselves they have developed.
Okay, brilliant. I'm coming back to you and your films. Your body of work is extraordinary, and I don't think I have to say it. You have won so many awards. Um, you did a film, Assamese film called Firingoti,
Yeah.
which also got awards. And after the release of the film, you said that you would not do any more Assamese film. What did hurt you to say that?
Uh, yeah, I mean, yes, I did say that. Filmmaker actually, it's a very special film for me. And it's almost like my childhood village.
Which is Hibohagor, is it? Is
No, it's
Hibohagor
a place called Bokota.
Bokot?
Bokota. I come from a village called Japikhozia. And it's in a place, I mean, the area called Bokota. We call it Moza.
Moza, yes. I have
Yes,
heard about
Bokota Moza.
Mm.
I come from there, and then that whole entire village, actually, it has remained in my mind, actually. It's a very distinct, very vivid. So I tried to, I was so much, say, in love with those images of my childhood about the village, that I wanted to make a film with with those images. That is what Firingoti was. And Firingoti, in my real life also, that had happened. The school was being constructed by a lady, and then it got burnt. But anyway, that's very emotionally, I was very much attached to that film. And then the film was not bad. And the Malaya Goswami, a very fantastic actress from Assam, and she had agreed to do the role when I approached her, and the teacher's role. And incidentally, what happened? Everyone all over the country, she was appreciated so much that when it came to national awards, she got the Best Actress Award, national award. Then after that film was released, after that event, national award event, the film was released in Assam, and film didn't run. And I was quite hurt. It's not because film didn't run, because at least the people of Assam should have had some kind of curiosity to know with what kind of talent this lady or this actress had, for which she was awarded the Best Actress Award. That kind of curiosity also I didn't see in the people of Assam. So that was very hurting. So that's how I felt, that it's almost like an outburst. And I myself don't agree with that now. But
because
I did say that.
no,
I did say that.
do not thank God you did Assamese films after that. But I know what you mean, because Malaya Goswami, like you said, she won the Best Actress Award, and there is no enthusiasm from own people to watch the film. I think, yeah, it's quite a sad story in that respect. Do you also feel that there are lots of other elements which have to come together, like, producers wanting to produce a film like that, actors fighting to get a role in such films, or maybe marketing professionals doing their best to promote a film like that, and media companies, they have to talk about these stories, films, so audience look forward to that this film is coming, which is going to be a great film. I almost feel these elements have to come together. Have you always felt that way?
Yes, very much. I always felt that. And then that is something, actually something is wrong in us. I would say that, that so far curiosity is concerned, it's not the way actually it is one would like to have amongst people. And I don't know why actually that in all my journey, I made about 14 films now, and I feel very less enthusiasm amongst people. So that is what actually is there's a lot difference between, say, for example, Maharashtra. I stay in Maharashtra. There is a lot of enthusiasm amongst people who is making what and all, and they keep a track, and they chase the filmmakers. Someone suppose they want to see a film, like you chase a novel writer. To when you keep on, keeping a track on the novel writer, what is it writing and when is it going to be published, and we myself did it. And the same way it happens in elsewhere, but in Assam we don't get to see that. But not. I see. I meet a lot of people who are very encouraging and inspiring, but that section is very
small.
Little. Yeah, very small.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There was another episode. I think this is what you are actually saying, extension of that. You had another episode, and it was with Guwahati Durodorshon Kendra, and they boycotted, I think, if I'm not wrong, one of your telefilms, which was not telecasted, not released. I mean, here is a filmmaker whose work is recognized and rewarded nationally, internationally, and a regional institution boycotting his work. I mean, it doesn't add up. How did you take it?
Yeah, it was officially, it was not done. I mean, officially, of course, no one can boycott anyone.
Sure.
But somehow, I was blocked. I was not unhappy though about it, because I had said something about Doordarshan, about Guwahati Doordarshan, which I feel today I should not have. But it was quite hurting for them. And I won't say, I won't tell you, what I said. But it was quite hurting for them. So I understand that, why they blocked me. And as a result, a telefilm I had done called Tinkang, it was not telecast. And the reason was only known to them.
Okay, so it's more to do with what you said rather than how your telefilm was. Sounds like it, but I see that as a missed opportunity, because a telefilm made by a regional filmmaker, if the regional institution bans it, then people never get to see what a good film looks like. I feel that as a really missed opportunity. But lots of other things happened to you, like, Oporupa, the first film that you made. You were to shoot it somewhere, I think, in the rurals of Upper Assam. And
Yes.
when you started shooting, you were asked to stop because of political unrest in the area, and you had to wait for 2 years to get back to shooting. And I'm only guessing that there would be many more backstories of many different films. So I want to know, what kept you going? Is it the love for cinema and filmmaking?
Oh, yeah. It's not only love, it's so much of passion. So much of passion, you forget all this. And today, actually, when I look back, the kind of experience I had while making Aparupa, I think no filmmaker wants to have that kind of experience. It was a struggle throughout, and that was being my first film in my life. And I was about to, say that enough is enough. I will not try to become a filmmaker. So things came to that point. But somehow, somewhere from inside of me, actually, is that passion said, no, nothing doing. You you have to carry on. So today I look back at the entire experience. I keep saying that I'm one of the luckiest filmmakers in the world, because in the first film itself, I got so much of experience, and it is a blessing in disguise. During that time, when I was experiencing that, it was not so. I was feeling very bad. I was feeling self-pity. Why me? Why God chose me to give so much of problems? But today, I thank God that He gave me so much to experience. And I keep saying today, in the later films, when all the later films, in making those later films, also I had many, say untoward difficulties.
Sure.
But compared to Aparupa, these are nothing. Things
So
have become very easier.
So Aparupa really prepared you for life to get,
Yes.
this
And
award.
not just one life. I keep saying Aparupa taught me to become a filmmaker for next 4 lives, minimum.
Love that. No, I mean, I think what you are saying is events come and go, but I think filmmaking is so much bigger for you. It just doesn't leave you. You spoke about passion. So, but I think because you got it all in the first film, I think like I said, it only prepared you. Your film, Phonga Khiriki, which I think was released in 2018, and it was produced by Priyanka Chopra.
It's not released yet.
Okay,
we had a show in Guwahati.
All right. So you actually withdrew that film from Assam Film Award, isn't it, as a protest against CAB, Citizenship Amendment Act. So when is it painful when your films get affected because of political affairs? Is it painful?
It is very much painful. I would say that I had to take such a decision. But there is a reason for behind it, and because I'm a filmmaker, no doubt. But I always consider a filmmaker to be one of the. He's also, belongs to the society that we live. As a since while making films, a lot of things actually we experience in real life, in social life, and it reflects in the film. And that way, actually, I'm very much concerned about how the society moves ahead. And society means entire, the kind of environment I live around. And somewhere I feel as a citizen, if something goes wrong around me, I try to react. And that I feel that is my responsibility as a citizen, conscious citizen, that we need to voice. And something has happened, that a car is something like that. And a car is not understood properly by the rest of India when it came to, discussed the things that had happened in Assam. For Assam, the car is definitely a wrong move. it concerns our, it concerns our identity of the Assamese society. And that was, I would say that was in stake. And because of this act. And I felt very strongly. And we had been protesting, a lot of people around, and they're protesting. So as a filmmaker, I just wanted to add something more that how strongly I feel. So that's how I withdraw my film from that competition, to let the government know, let people know that how I say deep that problem is. So that was very consciously, and I'm very happy about it.
Great. Okay, so it's you wanted to tell through what you have done that this is really a big issue. And when you have spoken about CA, which is Citizenship Amendment Act, I think people really appreciate it when you also released a video saying why people of Assam is against this, I think, for the rest of India, or for the world, in fact, because it's very difficult for others to understand unless you break it down. And I thought you had really done so well how you have broken it down for people to understand. So
I just like to add something here. Many people actually that used to, they used to ask me actually why you are getting into this politics and all sorts of things. But my answer is very simple. See, as I said, that filmmaker is not the special, something. He also belongs to the society, the same society that we live all together, and that we have all responsibilities towards building a healthy society. Healthy society means healthy the entire land, or the state that we live in. And somewhere we need to be conscious about it. If something goes wrong around us, whether it's a filmmaker or poet or writer or any other businessman, anyone need to voice, need to come forward. Because it's not that it is not anti-national or something, because it is being, conscious about your own identity. It is not wrong. It is not against the Constitution at all. So that is how actually within the Constitution you have the right to voice. So we should be doing that. Everyone should be doing that.
I like that you have highlighted this, because I was going to ask this at some point, that a lot of people think that when you stand up and raise your voice, it almost feels like a part of a party or politics, seen less as initiative for social reform. But like you said, we are the citizen of a democracy. Everyone should ask if something doesn't look right. We have been talking about social responsibility. I have got another question related to that. And that is, what do you think is the responsibility and role of a filmmaker? If someone enters into the filmmaking industry, how should they prepare themselves, and what attitude should they keep so that they can keep going against all the odds, like you have found it in your first film? So what did you advise?
Yeah, that's I like that question. That filmmaker, a filmmaker always must know that he is not a common man. Like any other artist, he's also an artist and creative artist. He's a creator. And we need to realize one thing, that not just everyone, we need to realize that this world that we love so much and moves ahead, always moves ahead because of creators. Always. A creator has a role in it. He's not a common man. So that is how actually in Assamese is called Hilpi. He's a creator. He constructs, he doesn't destroy. And whether it's a society, whether it's just anything, it's about the environment or any, he constructs. So I would say that a filmmaker, being a creator, and he has the biggest responsibility is to create something which helps the society that he lives in, which helps the world that he lives in, like that. His attitude should be based on that process, that based on that thinking. So many a times actually that whether he makes a serious film or a commercial film, doesn't matter, but he must have responsibility, responsibility towards his audience. Audience itself means society for him. So this filmmaker, no filmmaker should forget that. That is what I always follow. That's how I call myself as a humanist. Humanist, and I always try to make my films based on the this aspect of humanity. Whenever there is a loss of humanity, then we need to rise. We need to raise voice. The raising voice for a filmmaker is making a film. So that is how actually I look at it. So filmmaker is very much very special. Even for common people, they need to look up at the filmmaker because they are supposed to be giving something to the society. The same thing goes with a writer or a singer, or for example, say our great Bhupenda. Bhupenda have given us so much, so much. You can't equate with anything, so much. And if we don't connect to that contribution, kind of contribution he had given, and I mean, there is no meaning actually that there is no use living like that, because after all we are society. So that is how actually that common people also need to realize that they need to look up at these such people, so that they should expect, and they should demand also accordingly.
I absolutely love this answer. Also, when you said that artists are creators, they are never going to destroy. There is a similar saying in, I think, Baha'i writing, and it says, art and filmmaking, they are powerful because it awakens noble sentiments. And I think that's where the filmmaker's power lies, because what narrative you want to tell, that you want people to change their behavior. And that's exactly, I think, you have said. Now here is an observation, and I want you to shed some light on this. Sensitive filmmakers like you, who are socially responsible, who see people's sorrows and struggles and depict that through their films, they are somehow not expected to earn good money or become rich. Whereas a commercial filmmaker, which you said, which is fine as long as they're responsible, but people expect them to earn crores of money. That's no problem. So I want you to explain that a little bit more in terms of if that's a right observation, and also your personal experience. I mean, has it happened and producers have said, I mean, your films can be made in small budgets, and people and media asking you, I mean, how are you leading a good life? Have you come across those situations?
Yeah. I mean, I first thing I must say that I'm very sure about something, that I should be making as a filmmaker. I should be making only what I believe in, totally. And it's not that I must not deviate from that line of thinking. And that is say kind of conviction you develop within, and it becomes so strong at times, and nothing can stop you from I mean, going away. So you always remain in touch with that. And other thing is that, I know that it's a very lucrative profession, and the filmmaking is a lot of attraction of the general public. In fact, 95% people of this entire world, they are into it, and films are being made on their taste. So accordingly, all these commercial films are being made. I have nothing against commercial films, and there, I finally say that there are at least two intentions wise for a filmmaker. There could be two intentions. One is that you give to your audience what the audience want, and the other one is that you give to your audience what you as an artist want to give. There's a big difference between these two.
Yes.
And I am for the second one. Always. I feel that if audience didn't get anything, didn't gain from my film, I suffer a lot. That suffering is sometimes it becomes very painful. But when it comes to the commerce, as a business, as a profession, so for finance concern, I'm very much conscious about that. That my kind of films don't sell much, but still I want to do it, because with the belief that the people in general in market, you can sell both, good and the bad, or whatever it is, plus minus everything, commercial, non-commercial, you can sell that. And there is a way to get into the market. You might not earn much. For example, I suffer a lot financially, but behind the sufferings, I have such satisfaction. And this, I don't think if I would have been a commercial filmmaker, I wouldn't be having those kind of satisfaction at all.
No. Yeah.
Why do you think I always keep smiling?
Very good question. Yeah, I was going to say that probably you sleep well at night as well.
Yes. I must tell you one thing. I'm so satisfied in my life. And when I go to, no matter how much tensions I have about financial or any kind of tensions, I go to bed. Within 2 minutes, I go to sleep. And totally out for 6 hours.
Wow. See, there are those people who really envy you when you say that, because they don't get sleep at night. So wonderfully explained what I wanted to hear. And I think the danger is when people enter into the film industry and commerce is their driving force, then they will frantically look for elements that will make the film popular or go viral, which by definition, you are actually not giving content a priority. And also what you said, what you want the audience to take away. I think that's what we have been talking about, responsibility of filmmakers. You have also said that you detest from gimmicks like item numbers in a film. And you have also said that's a reflection of the weakness of the filmmaker. Does it make you cringe, annoy you when you see filmmakers adding more and more item numbers, knowing that the audience is also taking them in, accepting in big numbers? Does it make you cringe?
I feel sad. Actually, it makes me sad. Because I could see that there are many good talents now. When they fall for this habit, this kind of process, and that somewhere there I feel that they end up doing injustice to their own talent. And as I said, that the filmmaker must know that he's a creator. And to create an item number or this kind of commercial film, you don't need much creative talents. But because these things are made on the demand, silent demand from the audience,
Yeah.
that is how actually that you end up doing that. But one more thing I would like to add here. Usually the filmmakers, I mean, nothing wrong in making a commercial film. But commercial films also can be very, very sensible. Sensible. I have said, there are many filmmakers earlier in Hindi cinema itself. Now, there are many filmmakers whose films used to run a lot. For example, say Rishikesh Mukherjee, Bimal Roy. Their films ran very well. But at the same time, they gave such films, such good films, and which is from which the people, the audience used to gain, not just getting entertained. A good story and how it is told, and they give a good situation, and audience they fall for. I mean, they gain from it in such a way that their taste level of taste goes up, the sense of appreciation goes up. But
Yes.
with a sensible, what nonsensical film, you don't get anything except that some kind of say entertainment. That same thing, the way a drug can give you. That is very temporary.
Very temporary. And like you have said, that cinema, some people say after all it is for entertainment, but then I almost feel there is a way to celebrate women in dancing, make them look beautiful without having to step out of the line, isn't it? And sometimes I also feel that I think some of the concepts, because we don't understand well whether it's empowerment or human right or women empowerment, we just push the wrong barriers, and that is seen in film, that we haven't understood the concepts very well, so we are pushing the wrong buttons there. And I think, yeah, you have spoken about mental
No, it's very
drugs.
it also is very tempting, that say it's your mind. If I fall for that kind of inclination, some kind of temptation, I could end up pressing that wrong button.
Forever.
Yeah, forever. Then I'll be finished forever also.
Like that.
So,
I was going to ask you something else now, which is about you have said publicly that you have been upset the way Assam as a state is moving, and how the political leaders have been managing the state. Like you have said before, you have been very vocal about CAA as well, and you have told your reasons. What's been upsetting you?
see, when I mean, say, since my childhood, the kind of experience I had as I grew up, that time the Assam was completely different. And it was almost like a one state, entire northeast area. Then it got disintegrated. It got, it has broken into so many parts. And after that, what is left today, what we call Assam, that is also on the verge of getting, almost just getting divided, and it's very alarming. And when I look back to find the reason for it, what has happened for which Assam has to suffer like this, then I always feel, and straight away I come to know that these are the leadership. Leadership is definitely at fault. And when the leadership is so weak and such things happen, it's just like in a family. When the leadership in the family is weak, the family gets disintegrated and and gets destroyed. And it depends how you lead to keep the entire family together. It depends on the quality of the leadership one has. So the same thing actually, we can compare it with the state. And then when I tried to analyze since independence, except barring 2 or 3 leaders, the entire leadership was very, very weak for Assam. It's very unfortunate. So as a result, today, Assam is not what Assam actually should have been. Assam never deserves to be like this.
True.
For example, say, the same Assam has struggled. It's an identity of the Assamese. It is not today's. It's more than 800 years ago. It was built by Sukafa, the first king.
Yes.
Sukafa, then socially Shankardev. They got together. I mean, they were. They led in such a way. They gave us a strong Assam. Strong Assam. That we are, because of lack of leadership today, we are destroying it. We keep talking about, we have fought for Assam. We had defended. We fought against the Mughals for 17 times. Blah 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 blah. All this. That is all true. How could we do that? The same Assamese, the same people could do that. That means something today's Assamese, we lack something, and that is the leadership we lack. So that is how this is a very sad state of affair. Then I talked to many friends of mine, then somewhere we need to develop some kind of regionalism. Regionalism is not, the anti-nationalism. Regionalism is within nationalism. You have because when you try to defend a region, your own region, and that is already within the constitution. It is there. Within the nationalism, it's there. The simple thing is that all the regions in the country, if they're safeguarded, then that becomes a nationalism.
True.
That is what we need to believe in. So that is how actually we need to develop some kind of regionalism for the regions where these regions are being neglected. Neglected. Assam is one of them, definitely. Otherwise, such a problem wouldn't have taken place.
Sure. So
that is actually we look for leadership, good leadership.
Absolutely. I think also you are saying that the democratic process, when it doesn't work, that's
very much within the democratic process.
Exactly. Now, there are many people, who feel frustrated. They may not do much about it, but they feel frustrated about the political leaders. They don't believe in any parties. They don't trust regional parties as well because of past experience. And as far as I know, you are a part or supporter of a regional party, which is Rise or Dol. What is Rise or Dol doing in terms of its steps and strategies to reach to its goal and get people's trust? Everything that you have spoken about, that we are divided. Is there anything that they're working towards in terms of strategy?
Yeah, most important factor here, all the regional parties, they need to be together. They need to get together, and they need to, work together for for safeguarding of Assam. That's for sure. So whether you are in this party or that party, doesn't matter. As long as it is the party is concerned about the safety, safeguarding of Assam. So it is that, yes, initially there are, I was also a, say, advisor to the all the regional processes. And that way, there is another party, as you know, that, from Jatiya Porikhot,
Yes.
like Rise or Dal. There is another. So my effort, actually, I have been trying to get them together, all of them together, so that, they, I mean, they work from a common platform. And if Assam has to be saved. So that
But
is
do you,
where actually I'm trying to, not
yeah,
advise them, but try to inspire them.
inspire? Yeah, no, great. Because I'm thinking, do you then see in that process that these different regional parties, actually their visions are also different, which can be difficult to bring them all together because they all see things slightly differently. Have you felt that way, or that's
Yes,
where
yes.
your job comes?
I'm very much conscious about it. That's why I keep saying that there are, like in a family, you need to, I mean, go step by step. Now, see what happens. A family uh, is in danger. First, safeguard that family. You might be having a lot of differences within that family. Those are internal matters. They can be addressed later. But first, you safeguard the entire family first. That is where actually you need to get together. There might be many things, actually, many differences. Those are details. And that doesn't mean that, you cannot be together. When it comes to, safeguarding Assam.
Beautiful.
If a simple thing is that you can talk about, differences, you can fight because of the differences and all. When there is, when Assam itself doesn't exist, where will you fight? First is safeguard Assam first, then you fight. Then you fight amongst yourself. And then it's not fight, actually. Debate and do everything and find solutions within it. That is
So
how things need to move.
this has so much power, what you have said, because, we can have different ideas, different beliefs, but
Yes,
as
yes.
long as, we have got the right debate, and the ultimate goal is to save the state, and, it's a happy place for everybody. And I think you have seen that not working well. I can tell from what you are saying, and that's where I think you are instrumental. Would you also say that, because I think I said this before, that people sometimes see parties less as initiative for social reform, but do you think you actually have to be a part of something, of like-minded people, of an institution, so that your voice can be
Very,
heard?
very
That's
much.
important. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm coming back to you again, and I have heard from people who worked with you, who have said that yes, you are very focused when you are doing your shooting, but during break time you are dancing away. And you have told me as well when I spoke to you that life is beautiful. You can find joy almost in everything. Um, Tell me more about that side of you. What do you mean?
uh, Life is, in fact, for me, not just for me, my wife also, and my family, in fact, my son also. We consider life is the ultimate gift from God. And in last life or whatever it is, we must have done very good things. That's how we we got a life today. In this life, we are born again. Now, thing is that moment we are born, I feel that, that no gift can be more, say, important than this. And I'm grateful to that. Whoever has given me the life, I'm grateful. And then when I say grateful, I become grateful to all my ancestors, my parents, my everyone who is responsible for my birth, and my friends, my family, everyone together. And I'm grateful to everyone. I'm grateful to the world, all nature, and each and every, the plant also. I'm grateful to, because that somewhere I gain from the plant. Each and every flower I get to see, and it is something which, because I had the life, that's why I'm seeing it, and that I gained up from it. So I'm grateful to that flower as well. The, everything, I feel that we should be grateful to that, and that and at the same time, we need to give credit to everyone that today I'm being looked after by this world, and somehow I might be doing my own things, but it is becoming possible because that others are around me. So that is how I say credit goes to others for my existence. If others are not there today, I wouldn't have existed. So that is with that thought, actually, and I always say that life is so beautiful. Don't destroy it. There will be many hiccups here and there, keep on coming, innumerable. I got, an innumerable, you can't count. But still, I'm so happy that I have this life. Life is beautiful, really.
That's so powerful. Again, this message, because we can find joy in small little things if we choose to. You have also spoken about social media. I think I just want to quickly touch upon on that. What do you think of social media? How it is actually impacting in different levels? How do you see it?
Social media, see, is also one of the innovations, scientific innovation, I would say. Any innovation, it is there is a positive aspect to it, and because of that positive aspect, this whatever the innovation had taken place, it has happened. That is, it got created. It's no problem there. But when it is, it comes to use, and there the problem starts. And I got very excited when there was social media, all these things had come up. I was feeling very happy. But in no time, actually, that I became very unhappy about certain things. And initially, which I also created my accounts, but I stopped it. I'm not in social media at all today. My accounts are there, but I'm not in it. But it's not that I'm against it, but the kind of what I could get to see, there's more than use. There are more misuses.
True.
And that is where actually the whole new generation, generation after generation, is getting destroyed in their senses. And that it is taking away their human emotions and human ability. Taking away from them, and that they don't realize that today a child doesn't know. A boy doesn't know how to tell the girl, "I love you." he gets into that, only WhatsApp or something.
They fix
They
and they
don't
break.
know what is they don't know what is shyness, what is sharm, what is how to wink at a girl, and all these things. They don't know anything. And it's a very say damage. I would say that's a human ability. See, when you express to each other, I'm talking about boy and girl, because it's easier to understand, and the love which first time actually develops within them, and they need to exchange their looks, their the words, and all this, their smiles, and all these things, and those are missing today. How can you relate to each other? So everything is becoming mechanical because of this. It would have been there, provided you know how to only use them. Don't misuse them. Even to say I love you, if you use WhatsApp, then you are misusing it. You face the girl, talk to her, so like that, you don't take your human ability get uprooted from you. It is getting uprooted.
Yes. There.
So that
Sorry,
is what actually biggest damage, I would say. I'm just giving one example, but it has happened in all factors. And even between husband and wife, between say father and son, what we call a generation gap. We need to understand the generation gap, and that what kind of ability we had, human ability, and that is gone today.
Yeah, so true. I think this has been a big discussion that the social abilities we are talking about, it's missing in social media. And then also, I think it's important to know that these platforms are businesses. They're there to make money. They have got a huge force who is working day and night to make users addicted. So you are addicted to it. And the interesting thing is people who work for social media, they don't have social media accounts like yours. So that's something to go by why they don't have who work for it. Now, because we're running out of time, I have got quickly wanted to know, are you working on any new project films that you can talk about?
Yeah, I'm just starting one project, the Lasit Barphukan. That, as you know, the Lasit had been the key figure in what we talked about, that safeguarding Assam, and the historical figure, and we all look up at such figures. And I had been, after making a film on such a character on Lasit Barphukan for years, but since there was no budget, with me, no financiers, good financiers, I was not able to do it. Now, actually, one producer has come forward. I'm very happy about it, and I'm hoping that it will be done now. Now all the research work is being done, and if everything goes well, then next year we'll be shooting for the film.
All right.
It's a little bigger budget film.
So obviously then we are not looking at this film coming out before 2 years probably. Is that the timeline?
2 years, yeah.
Right.
Not before 2 years.
Okay. Best wishes for the process and the movie and the journey the way you want to see it for the movie, because it's a very big topic. I mean, people haven't seen Lasit Borfukan in visual medium, I don't think so. So yeah, that's quite phenomenal. Now, I want to ask you a few very quick questions on a lighter note, then we'll end. We haven't spoken much about your personal life, so let's start with your wife. Where did you meet her, and what is so striking about your wife?
Oh, that it was a very big story. I don't think I'll be able to finish it.
Okay.
It can go on and on. But anyway, that when I first met her, she was in school, 10th standard. Got to see her. Since then, I had been after her, but without her knowledge. Without her knowledge. And later she became one of my students. And in XIC, that is at film production in St. Xavier's Institute of Mass Communication. So there but she was so naive. She didn't even know. I mean, when I proposed to her that it was meant to be a proposal, she didn't realize that.
Oh, maybe
So
you
anyway,
didn't express. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever has happened, a lot of good things in my life. Not that earlier didn't happen, but more good things had happened in my life because of her. And I'm so much, I wouldn't say that now, because it's not for public.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I after she came to my life, I got a lot of positivity, and she had been, she was ready to struggle with me, and that was the biggest support. And we have a small family. We have our son. He's 24. He's a footballer.
He's not into film. He's not into film.
He's not into films.
Okay.
And he's doing graduation, final year now. And yes, we are a very small family. And as I said earlier, that I could go to sleep within 2 minutes. It's because of her.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. But who is the boss at home, by the way, between you two?
I want her to be the boss.
Aha, okay. So you have given it to her. That's good.
No, it's not that bossgiri, but she's so good in terms of, what is missing in me, what is missing in her son, what is missing in herself, and then she takes care of everything. And if I was not a filmmaker, if I was not making films, I would have been the laziest bum. I would have been, because she used to look after everything.
She's a multitasker. Have you got any
She herself is a documentary filmmaker. She makes documentaries. Yeah, very good films.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, so I was going to ask you, is there any guilty pleasures of yours that you know of?
Oh, there are many.
Okay.
Yeah, we whenever we have something, say some extra income, we always opt for traveling. We travel. We like to travel a lot. So all three of us are excited about traveling, and that's how we keep doing. And then they do this. And apart from that, there are many, of course.
Well, traveling isn't a guilty pleasure. I think you need it.
It's not just the foreign travel. It's village travels also. I mean, to go back to our villages, and then she's all three of us. We love the villages, and we very much in touch with the villagers, like that. And this is, I would say, most pleasing.
I totally get that. And is there any unfulfilled dreams that you are currently working on?
Pardon?
Is there any unfulfilled dream that you're working on?
No, only I have a few projects lined up, and that will come. Actually, it's not the time. It's not announced yet.
Okay, all right.
Projects are lined up.
Okay, and do you see yourself as a successful filmmaker?
No. I say passionate filmmaker.
All right, not successful, but passionate filmmaker. But
passionate filmmaker.
I would like to add there, though, that you are one filmmaker who have mastered the craft, who brings out the finer details, someone who is socially conscious, socially responsible, bring human values to the forefront. I think we can only be proud of everything you have contributed so far. So thank you for being here. I had a great time talking to you, and I wish you all the well for everything you do, for a great life. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks to you for getting me.
No, it's such
I really enjoyed. Thank you very much.
Lovely to hear that. Thank you. And yeah, goodbye for now.
Thanks.
Bye. All right, so that's the end of today's show. There is a saying by English filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock. He said that if a film is good, if a filmmaker is great, then the sound could go off, but the audience will still know what is going on or what was going on. And that's something you will see in every film of Jahnu Barua. And that's the power of his filmmaking. I had a great time listening to him, and I do hope that you did too. With that, thank you for watching today's show. Thank you to the Sentinel as well. Do look after yourself, take good care, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.